Well, good afternoon. Happy Tuesday, everybody. We are here because it's Tuesday. I know I faked you out, everybody, yesterday by coming on Monday as well with my fun announcements. But here we are Tuesday answering questions, and I had some great questions emailed in this week from Faye up in Canada. And I thought, this often comes up in book club discussion, but it's such a great one to let everyone benefit from. So I wanted to address it here on a live. And so for those of you that are new to the group, we still have new people joining. My name is Araya, also known as Tana or the Dragon Lady. And I penned a book back in 2007 of working with the dragon energies called The Dragon Within. So dragonwithin.com is where you find all of that, all of my work, be it guided meditations, online courses, all the products, the oracle deck, the greeting cards, the books, the pendants, like the Andaran stone pendants, all hand-made, individual, customized pieces that are so unique. And I know that each one calls its owner energetically. So dragonwithin.com is where you find all of that, and a way to contact me by emailing array@dragonwithin.com, or use the contact form when you do have questions. So I get questions regularly, and I love to bring them out on these lives so that everybody can benefit from the responses. And then we've got an archive built up now of almost 4 years. Yes, hello, Deborah. Good to see you. And Mona Lisa, hello, hello. So there's almost 4 years now of weekly videos of all the different topics with the dragons. And, some of them were about the energy of those days, but sometimes they still apply, or you need to hear it and you'll feel that. So when you go to YouTube and you search on the Invoke Healing, and I'll put the link in today's description for you so it's easy to find. There's a dragon playlist, and you can subscribe so that if you miss a live or you're not on Facebook as much anymore, you'll get notified every time I add something new on the YouTube channel every Tuesday after I do these lives. That it's a much easier index to sort through and find topics and search topics in the playlist than through the Facebook group. But they are also here in the archives. And so let's dive into today's question, which is about the dragon's pearl. And it's often depicted in artwork, a dragon with the pearl. This is the actual, what I used as the cover of the oracle deck. Why is the pearl so significant? What is the meaning of that for the dragon? And it actually ended up being the image that, as those of you guys who have the deck know, ended up being the image used not just on the box but on the entire deck, because it holds wisdom. But what is wisdom gained? All our soul wisdom level gained, and the dragon for most of us is the soul level aspect of ourselves. That wisdom is our Akashic records. That's what we keep adding to. Our Akashic records are the recording and coding in of all the life experiences we have in any realm that gains our soul wisdom and keeps accessing like higher levels of expansion and different coursework, like going to grad school and beyond. And it's all held within the pearl. That the dragon's pearl is very significant in that way, because it holds all of our Akashic records. And so when you might get to a point where you actually receive or work with the pearl of your own dragon, and the questions that Faye sent in were, one, what is its significance? What does the pearl signify? So we've already covered that really quickly. It's the Akashic records. It's all of your soul's knowing and wisdom, that even as we're completing a cycle now, as we move into the ascension journey right now that we're on for this period or history of the planet, that it's all looping back on itself and completing, that there's a cycle of completion to move us into the higher dimensional planes. It's the evolutionary path forward. It is considered an ascension because we're ascending vibrationally. We're going up in vibration as a collective. And so there are those leading the way, but we are going up. And as we do that, I've talked often about this 0 point doorway that we're going through. And as we go through that, that literally is a 0 point. It's like a new cycle turning over. It's a new leaf, a new chapter, a new realm, literally, of experience. And so everything that is in the old realm of experience, so all of these years, the minimum 26,000 year cycle that you've been present within, but probably quite a few more of those for many of you historically here on the planet, that what happens as we go through a completion cycle and a 0 point doorway is that all of our incarnational experiences, all the wisdom gained about emotions, which is very peculiar to Earth, about our experiences with power, both positive and negative, about being a perpetrator, being a victim, being very loving, being unloving, making loving choices, being unkind. All the different things that we've played out and experienced are now coming together and converging as we come to that 0 point doorway and have to merge into self to go through it. That it basically is when all of the coding of all of that knowledge gets put into the pearl. It gets put into your Akashic records. And so it just comes in as light code and it transcribes in, and then all of that is released from your need to stay connected with it through a tangible, like, I have to remember that timeline, or I have to, everything that we use that keeps us going backward in time. We're trying to tap into a memory or something. That will, exactly, you'll never look at the pearl the same way. They are really precious. But when we go back in time, that really is holding us in 3D, and we're trying to let go of 3D now. So don't stress to try and pull back to those memories, to pull yourself back into what happened in my childhood, what happened in this other lifetime, what happened last week. It will come in as you need it. And I have lived this over and over and over again, especially in the past 6 months to a year, of this constant movement forward and a willingness to let go, that my guide just keeps saying, don't try to go back to it. When you need it, it comes up, because you're carrying that Akashic record with you, that when you need to access it, it'll be there. And if it's not there, then you don't really need it. So allowing that. And the question that was asked about the pearl beyond that was, she had heard about someone that it was an acquaintance and an experience where this person had recognized being a shaman, is a shaman in this lifetime, has been a shaman in multiple lifetimes, or it might have been a priest, actually. It doesn't, whatever the person was, that they were that from multiple incarnations. And that they said, as a shaman now, understanding it, that the pearl, the dragon had given them the pearl. And the pearl had stabilized them across these lifetimes, because they were very unstable, that it had an ability to stabilize him as he was very conflicted in the different roles that he was playing. And so the stabilizing factor, she said, is that even possible? Does that ever happen? And when I sat with the information, I don't necessarily think it's common, but it's definitely possible, and definitely makes sense that if your oversoul is a dragon and it's wanting to stabilize some internal conflict that's creating warping or different things in your timelines, that to stabilize that and stabilize the lesson that you're trying to get out of it on the bigger picture, say. So you might have 3-4 incarnations as this guy is a priest, because you're trying to work out the conflicts between religious dogma or direct connection with God, or whatever it is that he was choosing to be a priest, maybe in different sects or sectors of different religions. And maybe even across, there was Catholicism or Lutheran or Evangelical or Baptist, whatever all the different experiences might be, to find a resolution to the conflict within of what was being presented in each of those that he was really diving into on a soul, as an experience, as a human incarnation of, I'm going to be this Catholic priest, or I'm going to be this evangelical priest, or Lutheran, or Pilgrim, or whatever they were. That if on a soul level this is being watched and there's a lot of conflict, that the pearl would help stabilize across those, because it holds all the Akash in it together, right? And it would hold also very much more strongly in the field the karmic intent, or the soul intent of what the greater desire to gain out of all the different fractals going out of being a priest 4 times. What's the greater intent? What's the larger picture that the soul is trying to gain from these experiences? And that by having the pearl inserted into the field, that would actually stabilize to help that incarnation, that fractal of self as a human, get to the place of resolution of the conflict, of actually seeing the higher perspective, because it would have access to all of the different pieces simultaneously, that sometimes when we're not awake to our clairvoyance or our intuition, is harder to access. So then she went on to ask, well, if that's possible, or whether it is or not, is there a negative effect on the dragon to give away their pearl? So you have to look at this in 2 ways. One is, it would ideally be your own dragon self, for those of us that are dragon hearts or dragon riders, that would be your own dragon bringing the pearl into your human field to facilitate learning. So in that way, it's not going to be a negative experience for the dragon to actually just share its pearl with a part of itself. It's actually enhancing, because the soul level learning is always going to benefit the soul level of the dragon. Now, if this was a different dragon, say a guide came in and could somehow share its pearl because it's worked through that similar conflict, and so it holds a stabilized completion of that same energetic that was trying to be learned, then a guide could actually insert that pearl as well, and they would know already any ramification if they chose to do that. And I don't know if any have, but I'm seeing it as a potential in the field right now, that if that dragon as a guide was choosing to do that, it wouldn't really have a negative effect because he's staying in your field. So any of our guides and guardians are constantly with us in our field, right? So by sharing that pearl and you becoming aware of it, it's essentially a gift that they're giving to help stabilize your own knowing and bring information in that maybe you're not seeing, to help weave it in. So I thought those were great questions. And then the other piece, she had asked, does the dragon actually die if it loses its pearl? So this would be a really different way of looking at it, where if the dragon is a separate, like, flesh incarnation somewhere, or a lower octave incarnation than the soul, and has its pearl stolen or lost, I don't think it would die, but it would be, because even if the body is separated, even if the flesh incarnation were to pass away because of the loss of the pearl and its energy, I don't think it would normally be carrying the pearl with it. But if that was the situation, then the dragon may lose its life force, or some of it, where it ends up losing that body. But just like our bodies here, these are temporal. It's just a skin that has been taken, a form that has been taken for whatever lessons for the soul level, in whatever domain they are. So it could be another planet, it could be early Earth years when there were actually dragons incarnate. So I think the dragon could die, but it wouldn't essentially lose its pearl in the higher realm. I have seen where with Gaia and Gaia's pearl as a being, it was taken from her at a certain point, still in the earth plane, but taken from her as far as direct knowing of where it was, and returned to her later. So it was still in the field somehow, but there was a malintention of taking it, as if that, what I'm seeing now is the taking of it and the hiding away was a protection, because there were malevolent intentions that would have taken it and tried to decode it to mess with her DNA, or to mess with the higher intentions that she had in coming into being as a planet. So there's all kinds of variances there, but I don't see overall that it can ever be lost or taken or stolen for good, in a way, because your Akashic records are energetically stored. So the pearl, also on one level, is a denser representation. So it's something we identify with because we see it in a representation of a dragon that has come through artistically, and that we have densified down the vibration to actually have a physical pearl associated with that. So we also have to realize that dimensionally, that physical pearl is a lower vibration of the actual Akashic record that may emanate like a pearl. Probably is very opalescent in color because of the level of coding and information in it, like a diamond, that's going to have lots of facets and prisms, and all that coding, it's going to refract, and that's what makes the pearls opalescent. So that higher level, that can't ever be taken away. It's in a storage, like an energetic stored place where only you have access, and you always have a direct connection to it. So in that sense, it can't really be stolen. The lower density framework might be something where it could be taken with intention to do harm, sort of like the reptilian intervention with our DNA stranding of breaking the codes. I'm going to go in and I'm going to take this lower vibrational that's for some reason being carried in the field and break the codes. So those give you some insights about how the pearl works, what the pearl is, why we have it as dragon, how it manifests through the different layers of energy. And just keep in mind, everything is about energy. Everything is an energetic. And when we move into the higher vibrational planes, what we might recognize and understand from this one in a physical format won't necessarily be the same in that higher plane. It will have a resonance that is recognizable, but then we get more information about how it actually operates because we come up to the level of its original inception or creation. And that's where most of the information is carried. Just like we're learning more and more and more about ourselves, the higher vibrationally we get to remembering everything that's actually connected in our Akashic records, and that as we get close to that, we actually have access to it. So I love the question, and so Faith, thank you for sending that in, because it's a great discussion point, and I think a question for a lot of people. And you will never look at pearls the same way. So knowing that that was what I used for the Oracle deck, I want to share with you my newest creation, 2 things that I announced yesterday. You can watch yesterday's live if you want to catch it again, but the new program that I'm going into to access your Akashic records, to actually move into a merge with your dragon. I've called it the Way of the Dragon Heart and the Eye of the Dragon in a 2-part thing for the last 3 years. Full Way of the Dragon Heart the first year. And as everything, it keeps evolving. And the dragon shared with me to move it into something called quantum flight, which is going to be a shorter, deeper, faster, sort of like a snowball, like dive of all the current information that's happening now, because there's so much coming every week, every month, that with my ongoing Dragon Hearts, I can barely get it in 2 hours with our meditation, and we meet once a month, that every month I have so much new information that it's needs to keep coming out. So everything that's come in the last year and is going to keep folding forward. The dragons are sharing with me that it's time to really start snowballing people into their ascension process. That it's beyond a leap or a springboard forward. It's about flight now, that we have to get you on the on-ramp, and we're going to try to do that very, very quickly. So the new quantum flight program, I'm super excited about. I just set up the application for it. I will post it today when I have the graphic complete, very close to it. Announcing the program, and then we'll do a newsletter and a direct email out to those of you that have showed interest in the Eye of the Dragon or the Way of the Dragon Heart program, because this might really be what feels right to you. I've created the group sphere and sent that pulse out that's going to hit square in the heart. If you know you're being called to it, you're going to feel something going, oh my God, it's time for me to work deeply with my dragon. It's really, it's now, and we're going to start January 25th. That's at the end of January, and I'm starting right at the end, so that we're in the phasing into a new cycle at the end of that retrograde. So there's double retrograde in January that I want to be on the tail end of. That's the coming out of. I want to start with that impetus of coming out of what feels like an inversion or a reversal, and pop out into the next 7 weeks of new, to really blow it big for everybody next year. So that I announced yesterday, as well as super excited about these, you guys, because I love the holidays. I love my dragons, all the beautiful images that you guys see around me, and that are in the deck. If you haven't seen the deck, and all the incredible, colorful, powerful dragons that are in it, man oh man, all of them are available as canvas prints. And when you connect with one over and over again, you might consider, like, I need to have him on my wall when I wake up, or when I first go into the bathroom or the kitchen, where you see it and feel that energy hit you every day, that they're working with you. So I actually had the same artist, Nico, from Argentina. He's from Buenos Aires. He's amazing. And I commissioned some dragon holiday art. And so I've got these guys now. I love the little candle, the gift. These are Christmas cards. They're just blank on the interior, so that you can write any message you want for whatever holiday you're celebrating. Love my ornament, gold dragon on the ornament, the wreath, and the stocking. That these are the 6 images, and they all come with this specialized envelopes. I had the envelopes printed and paid a little extra to do that, because what's going to happen is when you send, first I'm going to charge these with your energy field. Everything I do out of the layer is your transmission for your expansion, but as this matches your frequency and your dragon, and you start sharing these with your friends and family and other dragon lovers around the world, not only are they going to receive it in the mail with a whole bunch of energy, but every postal worker and every person that handles that envelope going from you to them is going to get a beautiful little dragon gift of transmission. I'm excited about that. So those are the Christmas cards. You can buy them as singles or 6-packs, where there's 1 of each image, or 12 packs where there's 2 of each image. And then I couldn't resist. I had these two images that I just love. I wanted to do some watercolor dragons. And so I found these images. We got a masculine and a feminine feel. And these guys are the new, what I call art cards. I may end up doing more, but I'm going to start with these. And they're also blank inside. I like blank cards to send my own message. I feel like the ones that are pre-done sometimes can be really cheesy or just not fit that moment. And then you got to change the message. And these each also have a specialized envelope printed with them, because I want everyone that handles that envelope to get a gift from the dragons. They have so much to share for our Ascension journey, and it's time. And they too come as 6 or 12 packs. And you can see the images will be on the site of what's in each pack. They're all there. They're on the layer now. They're in the same section as the Oracle decks. So Oracle decks, books, and cards. You've always only been able to get the book with the print format, whether it's a hardback or a paperback, through the front end of Order the Book. I've added those into the layer so that if you're ordering cards and you want a hard copy of the book, or you are getting a deck, or you're getting a plushie, or you're getting a pendant, and you want to just bundle it all in one cart, I put the books in there. Not the ebooks. I can't do it that way because of the download factor. But thank you, Deborah. I'm excited about them. I do find them beautiful myself. And they're all 5x7, so if you want to frame some holiday images around for your festive decor, that also works. All right, so please send your questions. They bring up great discussions each week, and they help. I have so many people that email me that say, you know, I was just looking through YouTube, or I found your stuff, and I can't stop watching the videos. I go through and I'm binging right now because all the topics are so relevant to what I need to know. So somebody asked a question 3 years ago that's still relevant for people starting on their journey now. And thank you, Kat. I love the cards too. So feel free to start ordering. I got them out now. They're later than I wanted, but the way the dragons work, they are challenging all the printers. Whether it was the book design of the new templates, whether it was the Oracle deck, whether it's the cards, I swear to you, the printers that get the dragon energy in their shop, their whatever their building is like, and the employees are like, everything starts to go haywire once the dragon energy is in there, and their machines are breaking, and they're having delays on getting product for paper or envelopes or whatever the case may be. I've had delay with every single project. Part of that is the timing. They wanted to be released on the 11/1. I'm confident and like so clear on that, because I was supposed to pick them up at the end of September. They were supposed to be done. I got the artwork to the guy on September 8th, and he said about 2 weeks, right? I picked them up on Halloween, on Samhain, on the festival of the veil thinning. That was when I could actually go and pick the cards up and have them all ready to go out the door, like November 1. 11/1, as I discussed yesterday. It was a powerful day. We are building over the next 10 days to 11/11, and that is super exciting to me, because that gives me a confirmation of the level of energy that's in them that's to be shared around the globe. So super excited. I will see you guys next Tuesday. Thanks for being here. I love my dragon family. And if you have questions, please send them in. Email or instant message me if we're friends on Facebook, or even in the comments in the chat. Put them in there, because I'll deal with them in the next coming weeks. All right? Have a great week, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Bye for now.